questions, and obviously I haven't been available for like a week or so. So, first of all, I know what you guys are going to ask, and I did think it was a flagrant foul. And our reffing just needs to be better.
There is a brutal, undeniable reality about Alyssa Thomas that the WNBA establishment desperately tried to bury after last Wednesday's game. She threw a flagrant punch at Caitlin Clark. The refs swallowed their whistles in real time, and when the league had the chance to protect its most visible star, they chose silence. For 4 days, Caitlin Clark absorbed this absolute mess completely alone while Alyssa Thomas played victim on national television and the Connecticut Sun coaching staff watched in total silence. But that era is officially dead and buried. Caitlin Clark just stepped to the podium, blasted the officiating, called out Alyssa Thomas by name, torched the Athletic for fabricating quotes, and won Eastern Conference Player of the Month, all while the establishment pretended she's ranked 11th among guards. The entire balance of power just shifted. Welcome back. This is Channel Name, and today we are exposing the conversation the league office refuses to let you have, the one where Caitlin Clark finally stops being polite and starts documenting receipts. Let me be entirely clear with you. What Caitlin Clark said in that press conference was not diplomatic. It was not careful. It was surgical, calculated, and designed to put every single person who has enabled this garbage on notice. And the fact that she did it on the same day the WNBA announced her Player of the Month award, that is not a coincidence. That is a statement. We are going to walk through exactly what she said, exactly who she called out, and exactly why this changes the rest of her season starting today. And I want every single person watching this video to pay close attention to the 3 specific moments where Caitlin Clark stopped being the league's golden child and became the prosecutor.
I remember seeing a headline is like, and I don't remember who wrote this, and I try to stay away from social media as much as I can.
She about to blast the Athletic article.
But sometimes it can be hard. Like, I need to be aware of certain things, and obviously my team makes me aware of certain things. And it was like, the headline read like, this season has been everything but fun, and they're just full of frustration for Clark and the Fever. And I'm like, no one ever asked me that. Nobody ever asked me that. Like, that's wrong. Like, discuss my play. Discuss if I played bad. Discuss if I played good.
Before we get into the press conference, and trust me, we are going to break down every single word, I need you to understand the context that the mainstream media has been deliberately hiding from you. Caitlin Clark won Eastern Conference Player of the Month, 22 points per game on 46% shooting, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. And she did all of that while Stephanie White was pulling her in and out of games, cutting her minutes, and running offensive sets designed for Aliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. Player of the Month, and according to the anonymous player poll that the establishment loves to cite, she is ranked 11th among guards in this league. 11th, let that sink in for a second. The player who just won the conference's top monthly honor is supposedly outside the top 10 at her own position according to her peers. Either the award is meaningless, or the poll is a coordinated hit job designed to diminish her accomplishments. You tell me which one makes more sense. I have been documenting this pattern for 3 months now, and I am telling you the disrespect is not accidental. It is systematic. It is deliberate. And Caitlin Clark just told the world she is done pretending it does not exist. Now let's get to the main event. Caitlin Clark finally addressed the Alyssa Thomas incident. She addressed the officiating crisis. She addressed the online harassment that has been weaponized against her. And she torched the Athletic for running a fabricated headline that claimed her season has been joyless and full of frustration, a quote she says nobody ever asked her about. This is not the Caitlin Clark who smiles through the chaos. This is the Caitlin Clark who is keeping receipts.
And obviously I haven't been available for like a week or so. So, first of all, I know what you guys are going to ask, and I did think it was a flagrant foul. And our reffing just needs to be better.
Let's start with the Alyssa Thomas punch. And I am calling it what it is, a punch, not a basketball play, not an inadvertent contact situation. A punch. Alyssa Thomas wound up and connected with Caitlin Clark's head during a dead ball situation, and the referees in real time looked directly at it and did nothing. The league reviewed it post-game, upgraded it to a flagrant one, assessed the penalty. And then the entire Connecticut Sun organization and half the WNBA media complex spent 4 days gaslighting the public into believing it was no big deal. Caitlin Clark was asked about it in her first media availability since the incident. And instead of taking the diplomatic route, instead of saying it is what it is or I am just focused on the next game, she stood on business. Don't take my word for it, she said it herself. Watch this.
I remember seeing a headline is like, and I don't remember who wrote this, and I try to stay away from social media as much as I can.
She about to blast the Athletic article.
But sometimes it can be hard. Like, I need to be aware of certain things, and obviously my team makes me aware of certain things. And it was like, the headline read like, this season has been everything but fun, and they're just full of frustration for Clark and the Fever. And I'm like, no one ever asked me that. Nobody ever asked me that. Like, that's wrong. Like, discuss my play. Discuss if I played bad. Discuss if I played good.
She said it with cameras rolling. After a week of people telling her to move on, she said that to the media. Let me say it back to you in case you missed it. Caitlin Clark looked into the camera and said, I did think it was a flagrant foul. Our refereeing just needs to be better. I don't really think it was up for debate. Not up for debate, not a subjective call, not a judgment situation. A flagrant foul that should have been called in real time. And the league failed to protect her. And then she went further. She said this has been a discussion for 3 years. 3 years. That means this is not about one play. This is about a systemic failure by the WNBA to enforce player safety rules when the aggressor is a veteran and the victim is a rookie who happens to be the face of the league. Caitlin Clark just told you that the officiating in this league is not incompetent, it is selectively incompetent. It protects the old guard and punishes the new stars. You want to know why that matters? Because Alyssa Thomas spent the last 4 days on every podcast and pregame show playing victim. She cried about online harassment. She said she was being unfairly targeted. She made herself the story. And Caitlin Clark just walked up to the microphone and said, "No, you hit me. The refs missed it, and we are not going to pretend otherwise." That is not coaching from the Indiana Fever front office. That is not a PR-approved statement. That is Caitlin Clark deciding she is done being the league's punching bag. Now let's talk about what Caitlin Clark said about the referees, because this is where it gets even more interesting. She did not just say the officiating was bad. She said the league needs to invest in the referees. She said they need to be full-time employees. She said they need to be paid what they deserve, trained year-round, and given the resources to succeed. That is a 24-year-old rookie telling the WNBA Commissioner's office that their infrastructure is broken. That is Caitlin Clark diagnosing the problem and offering the solution in the same breath. And the reason that is so devastating is because it exposes the lie the league has been telling for years. The WNBA loves to say they are growing, record attendance, record viewership, expansion teams, new media deals. But if you are growing, why are your referees part-time employees? Why are they working second jobs in the off-season? Why are they not being trained with the same investment you put into player development? Caitlin Clark just asked that question out loud and the league office has no answer. Here is the tactical failure. The WNBA had 4 days to get ahead of this story. 4 days to issue a statement supporting Caitlin Clark. 4 days to fine Alyssa Thomas. 4 days to announce an officiating review process. They did none of that. They stayed silent. They let Alyssa Thomas control the narrative. And then Caitlin Clark walked into that press conference and took the narrative back by force. That is not coaching. That is sabotage by the league office. They left their biggest star exposed and she had to defend herself. Let's talk about the pattern of behavior, because this is not the first time Alyssa Thomas has been involved in a controversial play with Caitlin Clark. This is not the first time the referees have failed to protect her in real time. And this is not the first time the Indiana Fever organization has watched silently while their franchise player gets targeted. Go back to the Tiffany Hayes incident earlier this season. Tiffany Hayes made a comment that was widely interpreted as inciting harassment against Caitlin Clark off the floor. Did the Fever front office issue a statement? No. Did Stephanie White blast Tiffany Hayes in the post-game presser? No. Did the league fine Hayes or even acknowledge the comment? No, they did nothing. Go back to the Kennedy Carter body check in June. Caitlin Clark got blindsided on a dead ball and the initial call was a common foul. It took a media firestorm and a league review to upgrade it to a flagrant. And even then, half the WNBA veterans went on podcasts defending Kennedy Carter and saying Caitlin Clark needed to earn her respect. Go back to the Di Carrington eye poke in the playoffs. Caitlin Clark took a finger to the eye and Di Carrington laughed about it on social media. The league reviewed it and said it was incidental. No fine, no suspension, no accountability, 3 incidents, 3 identical patterns. 3 times Caitlin Clark paid the price while the establishment protected the aggressor. And every single time the Fever front office stayed silent, the league office stayed silent, the referees stayed silent, and Caitlin Clark was expected to smile, say it is part of the game and move on. Well, she is done moving on, and the receipts are coming. Now let's talk about enabler complicity, because Alyssa Thomas did not act alone. The Connecticut Sun coaching staff saw that punch happen in real time and said nothing. The WNBA officiating crew looked directly at the play and swallowed their whistles. The league office reviewed the tape, upgraded the call post-game, and then refused to issue a public statement explaining why it was missed. And half the WNBA media complex spent 4 days running interference for Alyssa Thomas, framing her as the victim of online harassment instead of the aggressor in a flagrant foul. Every single one of them stayed silent when it mattered. Every single one of them enabled this garbage. And Caitlin Clark just put them all on notice. Here is what the establishment does not want you to understand. The WNBA is a small league. 30 to 40-year-old veterans have institutional power that rookies do not. Coaches protect their veterans. Referees give veterans the benefit of the doubt. Media members who cover the league have relationships with veteran players that go back years. And all of that creates a system where a rookie, even a generational talent like Caitlin Clark, is expected to absorb abuse silently until she earns her place. Caitlin Clark just told that system to go to hell. And the cost to her has been enormous. She has spent 6 months being physically targeted on the court, verbally attacked on social media, and undermined by anonymous player polls that rank her outside the top 10 at her position. She has watched her coaches pull her from games at critical moments. She has watched the referees ignore flagrant fouls against her in real time. She has watched the league office refuse to defend her publicly. And through all of that, she has put up Player of the Month numbers. That is what Caitlin Clark's prime is being burned for. Not championships, not development, not building chemistry with her teammates. It is being burned so that veterans like Alyssa Thomas can protect their egos and the WNBA establishment can avoid uncomfortable conversations about how they treat their stars. Before I get to the verdict, you need to hear what Caitlin Clark said about The Athletic, because this might be the most devastating part of the entire press conference. She said it on camera with receipts. The Athletic ran a headline claiming Caitlin Clark's season has been joyless and full of frustration, and she is telling you that nobody ever asked her that question. Nobody ever asked her. That is not journalism, that is fabrication. That is a media outlet putting words in an athlete's mouth to generate clicks, and Caitlin Clark just called them out by name. And here's why that matters. The Athletic is not some random blog. It is owned by the New York Times. It is supposed to be credible. And Caitlin Clark just told the world that they are running hit pieces disguised as reporting. You want to know why she is frustrated? It is not because of basketball. It is because the media is more interested in manufacturing drama than covering the actual game. It is because outlets like The Athletic would rather write think pieces about whether Caitlin Clark is having fun than cover the fact that she just won Player of the Month while being ranked 11th by her peers. Caitlin Clark is 24 years old, and she is already better at media criticism than half the sports journalists in this country. Now let's get to the verdict. I am staking 5 predictions right now, and I want every single person watching this video to save this timestamp so you can come back and check my work. And here is the closing emotional beat. Caitlin Clark is standing at a podium right now, calling out referees, torching media outlets, and defending her own reputation, all while the people who are supposed to protect her stay silent. She is doing the thing the haters said she could not do. She is standing on business. And she is winning Player of the Month awards while doing it. That is not a victim. That is a champion in the making. Now here is what I need from you. Drop your most honest take in the comments. Is Caitlin Clark the most disrespected star in WNBA history, or is the league actually protecting her and we are overreacting? Pick a side. Defend it. I want to see the debate. And while you are down there, save this comment. I just predicted that The Athletic will issue a correction within 7 days. If I am right, come back and tell me. If I am wrong, roast me. I will own it. And tag the friend who keeps telling you Caitlin Clark needs to earn her respect. Make them watch this video and tell you they still believe it after hearing her call out Alyssa Thomas by name. And here is what is coming next. Tomorrow we are going to break down the Indiana Fever's next 3 games and whether Stephanie White is going to actually let Caitlin Clark play full minutes now that she has won Player of the Month. If you are not subscribed, you are going to miss it. Hit the bell. This is channel name. We will see you in the next video.